this video, we'll study market equilibrium and we'll try to understand the concepts of equilibrium, excess demand, excess supply, wage determination in labor market, marginal revenue product of labor, shifts in demand and supply, price ceiling and price floor. Now, what is equilibrium? In equilibrium, market supply equals market demand. Now, the price at which this equilibrium is reached is known as equilibrium price, and the quantity bought and sold at this price is called equilibrium quantity. Now, what is excess demand? Excess demand is when market demand is greater than market supply. Now, what is excess supply? Excess supply is when market demand is less than supply, that is, market supply is greater than market demand. Now, let's come to wage determination in labor market. In labor market, by labor we mean the hours of work provided by laborers and not the number of laborers. That means if somebody works for 5 hours, then those 5 hours will be counted as labors, no matter if 5% do that or a single person does that. Now, the extra cost of hiring one more unit of labor is the wage rate. Here, one more unit of labor means the extra hours that we hire. Suppose we hire 5 people for 5 hours, then that is also the extra cost for 5 hours for 5 people. Suppose we hire 10 people for 2.5 hours, then that cost will also be equal to 5 people for 5 hours or 10 people for 2.5 hours, because the hours of work that we are getting is the same, that is the wage rate. Wage rate, the cost that we incur for hiring that extra hours of labor. The extra output produced by one more unit of labor is its marginal product, and by selling an extra additional unit of output, the earning of the firm is the marginal revenue. This extra unit of output is produced by employing the extra unit of labor. Now, what is marginal revenue product of labor? It is marginal revenue times marginal product. So, this is the marginal revenue product of a labor. Now, let's understand the concepts of shifts in demand and supply. Here we'll study shifts in demand, shifts in supply, and simultaneous shifts in demand and supply. Now, what happens when there is a shift in demand? Remember, market will always try to achieve equilibrium position. Therefore, if there is an increase in demand, then equilibrium quantity and equilibrium price will both increase. Now, if there is a decrease in demand, then equilibrium quantity and equilibrium price will both decrease. Now, let's understand what happens when there is a shift in supply. Remember, market will always try to achieve equilibrium. If there is an excess supply in the market, then the equilibrium quantity will increase and the equilibrium price will decrease. And whereas if supply decreases, then equilibrium quantity also decreases, whereas the price will increase, because there will be less commodity available in the market and there will be more demand, thus the price will go up. Let's see what happens when there is a simultaneous shift in demand and supply. Remember, dash means leftward, dash means rightward increase, decrease. This will be the notations we'll use. Now suppose number 1, if demand decreases and supply also decreases, then the quantity also decreases, but the price may increase or decrease or remain constant. Now second condition, if demand increases and supply also increases, then the quantity increase and the price may increase or decrease or remain unchanged or constant. Suppose the demand decreases and supply increases, then quantity may increase or decrease or remain constant, whereas the price will decrease. Number 4, suppose shifts in demand will be increased and supply decreases, then the quantity may increase or decrease or remain constant or unchanged. Then the price will definitely increase. Okay, this is another point, this is another point, this is another point, and this is the final point. Okay, now what is price ceiling? It is the government imposed upper limit on price of goods and services. That is, the price of that particular good or service cannot exceed the limit set by the government. Suppose the price ceiling or upper limit for a particular commodity A set by government is 90 rupees, then be it any firm or any seller, they cannot sell that item above 90 rupees. That is, they cannot sell the item for 91 rupees. They must sell it at 90 rupees or below. This is the concept of price ceiling. Now, what is a price floor? It is the government imposed lower limit on price of goods and services. For example, suppose for commodity A, the government sets a lower limit or price floor of rupees 25. Then, no matter what the condition, you cannot purchase it or sell it below rupees 25. Below 25, not allowable. You must sell it at rupees 25 or above. You can see this price flooring in agricultural produce or minimum support price provided by the government to the agricultural farmers. Another example is the minimum wage rate. And thus, by controlling the imposition of price ceiling and price floor below and above the equilibrium price, government controls the demand and supply in the market, because neither excess demand nor excess supply is good for any economy.